criminal.
So I have a question for you. In the very little I try to spend on social media, every once in a while, you'll see, and we've all seen posts like this, you'll see some posts of some brother who's getting pulled over or stopped on the side of the road, and who he knows his rights and is very vocal about those rights. And luckily, the videos that I've seen have honestly worked out in their favor. Cops usually just, all right, we're backing off. Okay, let's chill this situation out. And that always amazes me. See someone who, when you talk about knowledge is power, I'm not saying like that, maybe that doesn't work out for everybody. I don't know, but I'm just curious, how does one, and I'm asking for myself as well, but how does one even begin that journey of learning what to do in those kind of situations, knowing their rights, other than like, man, I didn't do anything, and you're just kind of at the mercy of a police officer or police officers. Like, what can just a normal person, normal citizen do? How can they start? Like, I'm just curious.
Sure. I think the first part of your question, which is where can we go to learn how to interact properly in police civilian encounters? And I would say the ACLU, the national ACLU, as well as your state affiliate, so ACLU of New York, ACLU California, ACLU of Colorado, will have, and I know our affiliate has information on their website in terms of know your rights. And in fact, that's the tab for the ACLU of Colorado. Know your rights. You click on that and it will walk through scenarios. I also will reference the National Lawyers Guild, NLG. They are wonderful. Their website also will have some of the same information, and they do great know your rights trainings. Black Lives Matter as well, BLM. They have really good information. But for right now, I would tell you, the first thing is to be able to ascertain when you're in a police civilian encounter is if you're free to go or not. And I will just say, if the answer is yes, you are free to go. Go. Right? Because there's a consequence if you don't go. The consequence is your encounter is now a consensual encounter. And consensual encounters are not what the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution governs. It governs police seizures, but you are not seized if you're free to go and you're like, well, I'm just going to chit chat today with, Joe Popo. No. First thing is figure out if you're free to go. And in the context of, say, well, in fact, I'm doing a case right now for the ACLU, a racial profiling case where my client was doing nothing wrong, was walking to his apartment, and the police stopped him, demanded his ID. And that young man knew exactly what to do. It was brilliant. He said, why am I being detained? Am I free to go? No, you're not free to go, the police said. And they demanded his ID. And at that point, they didn't have a reasonable basis to demand identification. So our client, rightfully, he had his camera on, just like Mr. Evans was referencing the smart people that do record these things. And he said, I'm not giving you my permission to search me or take my ID, but I'm not going to fight you either. Right? I mean, that's a big, big part of it. I've read some cases. These are blood draw cases where the police believed somebody was under the influence and the suspect didn't want to consent. The best thing you can do to protect your rights later in court, if that's where this goes, which frankly, if you're calling me, for the most part, you're in trouble, right? Something happened, you've been charged or you've been beaten up. But our client said, you don't have my permission, you don't have my consent, but I'm not going to fight you. So that kept the temperature of the interaction way down. Police understood, all right, this guy isn't being threatening, but he's not acquiescing or cooperating. So the police still had something to complain about, of course, because unless you obey like like somebody without free will or an independent opinion, police are going to find you objectionable. That's right. The nature of police and fascistic psychology. Mm-hmm. But so first determine if you're free to go. Am I free to go? If you're if you've been pulled over and you're the one driving, most of us have enough common sense to know, no, you're not usually free to go until you provide your ID, insurance, registration. All of that presumes, the police are contacting you legally. The best thing you can do, am I free to go? And when they say no, you can voice your objection and your lack of consent, but I want people to be safe in their encounters with police. I want them going home to their families. So it is very important to me that people understand you can protect yourself and keep the temperature down.
Right.
That's easy to say sitting in a suit in my house, because when you're in the situation, and I have been cuffed by the police wrongfully, and I didn't sound like this. It sounded more like, because I was angry. Emotions were elevated.
They get the better of you, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So, but that's really it. I mean, those are the three resources: ACLU, BLM, NLG, National Lawyers Guild will have great resources. First thing, though, is always figure out, can I go or not? If the answer is yes, get on with your bad self, right?
Yeah. There you go.